Fermæntra, or your friendly neighborhood microbrewery. We heard this place had amazing beer, and so we had to get in and see for ourselves, as well as meet the two men who make it, Brennan Mann and Spencer O'Brien.
We used to do brewery hopping after work every day. There was one day at Breckenridge's Tap Room down in Calumet where he was like, hey, you want to open up a brewery? And I think it was a few pints in, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not, you know? And he's like, no, really. And I was like, oh, I should probably ask my wife. But we both grew up trying to pursue art in different ways. There was just that connective tissue of it's science meets art.
Absolute respect for each other as far as artistic vision of what we want to do, and the yin and yang type personalities that seems to sync up pretty well for being able to achieve what you can taste.
Both of us pursuing art and never really breaking over to something that we could really put in front of people and make people happy. And that's really why we do this.
Plus the ability to make more beer at any time.
Yeah, right.
We then refocused and asked them to tell us any advice to aspiring homebrewers.
If you want to be a brewer, you're a glorified janitor. That's all it
Custodian.
is. You're a custodian, custodial engineer.
Let's say from our perspective as well, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to talk to brewers. Don't be afraid to ask them how they would help you build something, especially if you're brand new to it, especially if you're trying to perfect something.
We also asked them what makes the perfect craft beer.
Being able to manipulate basic ingredients to create the vision that's in your head, that's the perfect craft beer.
Exceeding expectations, pushing extremes without having to marginalize your product.
Finally, we wanted to know what we could expect from Fermæntra in the future.
A hotel.
Yeah.
Bed linens. Toiletries, bed linens.
Flamethrowers.
With that sampler of beer staring us in the face, it was time to cut it off. So we thanked Spencer and Brian for their time.
And now for the fun part.
Taste test selfies.
Wow, this is good. Cheers.
Oh, fantastic aroma.
You can taste those floral hops.
Bold, dry finish.
Aromas of honey and cornbread.
Dry, complex, seductive.